Speaking of church, we turn now from Muslims to Christians. Horrible story out of Gaza. Horrible story. The IDF has struck the only Catholic church in Gaza. According to the reporting, 10:20 a.m. yesterday, the compound of the Holy Family in Gaza, which belongs to the Latin Patriarch, was struck by the Israeli army. 3 people died from their injuries. 9 others were wounded, including one in critical condition. And the priest, the parish priest, Father Gabriel Romanelli, was also injured. This is the line from the Latin Patriarch. The Latin Patriarchate, which is the Catholic Church in Gaza, the Latin Patriarchate strongly condemns this tragedy and this targeting of innocent civilians and of a sacred place. So Israel came out later on after international outcry, including from the White House. Israel came out and said, it was a mistake. It was an accident. Was it an accident? I don't see any evidence that it was an accident. Can you provide me some proof that it was an accident? You struck the church. Churches are pretty obvious targets. They're pretty obvious sites. You know, there's certain features, the cross, steeple, pretty obvious. Can you explain to me how this was an accident? Haven't heard that. The Latin Patriarch seems to think it was intentional. The targeting of innocent civilians, not just a stray bullet, the targeting. And he goes on, he says, however, this tragedy is not greater or more terrible than the many others that have befallen Gaza. Many other innocent civilians have also been harmed, displaced, and killed. Death, suffering, and destruction are everywhere. This horrific war must come to a complete end so that we may commence the long work of restoring human dignity. Diane Montagna, who's a great reporter on the Vatican and Rome and the Pope, says His Holiness renews his call for an immediate ceasefire. So this is talking about Pope Leo. He expresses his profound hope for dialogue, reconciliation, and enduring peace in the region. And then The Pillar, which is a Catholic outlet, says sources close to the Patriarchate's chancery told The Pillar Thursday that some officials believe the strike could have been a deliberate act of retaliation after Christian leaders recently condemned Israeli settler attacks on a West Bank Christian town. Now, I want you to put a bar. First of all, we pray for the dead and for this Christian community, but put a bar there for a second. There's another story coming out, which is that Mike Huckabee, as strong a supporter as the state of Israel as there is, U.S. ambassador to the state of Israel. According to the Times of Israel, Mike Huckabee is threatening to declare Israel not welcoming to Christians as a visa fight blows open. Penned a scathing letter to the Interior Minister, accusing Israel of blocking Christian groups from entering Israel and threatening reciprocal steps against Israeli visa seekers. As I've mentioned before, everyone seems to hate the state of Israel these days, mostly coming from the left, but some people on the right have joined. And I've been broadly supportive of the state of Israel, not really as an ideological matter, but as a matter of prudence. And you're losing me. You're losing me. Right now, go to donewithdebt.com. The American dream looks a little different these days. You know what most people are really dreaming about now? It's not that white picket fence anymore. It's just getting out of debt. We've lowered the bar on our expectations. If you are feeling crushed by rising costs, credit card bills that keep growing, and the constant stress of just trying to keep your head above water, I get it. Here's the thing. There is a way out. It's not hopeless. The people that you're indebted to want you to think it's hopeless. It's not. Done with Debt has one simple mission: to help you break free from debt for good. They are not going to try to sell you another loan or push you toward bankruptcy. What they do is send their experienced negotiators straight to your creditors to fight for you. They work to slash what you owe, get rid of those crushing interest charges, and wipe out penalties. They don't give up until your debt is actually gone. Here's what really gets me excited. Most of their clients start seeing more money in their pocket within the first month. You've worked way too hard to let debt control your life. With Done with Debt, that dream of being debt-free, it's not just a dream anymore. It's something you can actually achieve. Go to donewithdebt.com, talk with one of their experts, totally free. Some of their solutions are time-sensitive. Do not wait. Go to donewithdebt.com, donewithdebt.com. When you strike churches, the only church in Gaza, even if accidentally, but especially if not accidentally, you're losing me. If you're losing Mike Huckabee, the Israeli government is really screwing up, is really not playing its cards right. If Trump, I think the press secretary yesterday said Trump was furious, Trump was angry, and not the exact word, but he was quite dismayed to hear about this attack on the church. I agree with the Holy Father. I agree with the Latin Patriarch of Jerusalem, and I agree especially with the Holy Father on most matters. The war needs to come to an end. There need to be political consequences for this action. And the war needs to come to an end. How long is the war going to go on? I know what the answer is. The answer is, well, until the hostages come home. Okay, well, how about we redouble our efforts to get the hostages home, if that's the impediment to peace? Because it seems like there have been a lot of side quests and side missions. Going in, the Iran nuclear facilities, maybe potentially regime change in Iran, occupying southern Syria. It seems like there have been a lot of distractions. The war has been going on for almost 2 years. When's it going to end? Just what's the end of it? Can anyone tell me that? When the hostages are released? Well, then focus on getting the hostages released. Well, no, when Hamas is totally destroyed. Okay, well, when's that going to be? When Iran is no longer funding terrorism. When's that going to be? When Syria is made safe for democracy. When? Give me an answer. Because the war cannot just go on indefinitely. A just war cannot just go on indefinitely. And when you start striking churches, accidentally or otherwise, when you start interfering with American interests, not allowing in the reporting about Ambassador Huckabee, when you start interfering with American groups going to the state of Israel, now we got a problem. And America is the only friend that Israel has on planet Earth. So I don't know. I do not get what the Israeli government is doing here, but I suspect there will be political consequences for it, as there should be. That was a great clip. Now stop, ring the bell, subscribe right now, right, not later. No, don't procrastinate. Never put off till tomorrow that which you can do today. Thank you. See you next time.